Thank you very much indeed, Natasha. I'm very pleased to be able to share some of the findings with you from a project we did last year, the Pensions Communications project, a multi-country study which asked the question, what can we learn from the way that people are communicating with their members in different parts of the world, and bring those findings back here. Supported by 50-odd companies, including Mercer. I'm really grateful to Mercer's particular help in this study. I wanted to share, I can't share all of the findings with you, but I can share 3 as an illustration. And the first relates to segmentation. You've got to be able to cluster and segment your members in order to communicate with them effectively. And thinking is really moving on, away from slightly clunky, old-fashioned bases for segmenting members, such as age, which frankly is the most frequent basis we see being used here in this country, to other more interesting bases like the behaviour of members. The second finding that I thought I'd share with you relates to multi-channel, the way in which many channels are used in order to reach members. This isn't so much a technology point, although it could have been, lots of interesting new technologies evolving. It's more a point about how those channels are synchronized, organized, timed. Huge skill is required to do this, and it's often a very underestimated skill of the communications professionals who do this so well in many places. And my third one is the one I particularly wanted to focus on and particularly wanted to share with you, which relates to personalisation. If there is a single key, it's this. In order to engage best with members, you want to be able to present them with a communication which relates to their specific individual needs. And under those circumstances, they undoubtedly respond better. The first example of personalisation I'd share with you comes from Australia. And you can see here that the member's particular pot is being described, and indeed the member is being addressed by name. But those aren't really the key features. The main point of this campaign was that, as well as showing how their pot's evolving, it drew upon how that member was relating, for example, to call centres, how that member had expressed their concerns through a website, and then used that information as a way of communicating particular features, solutions, and indeed questions to that member. Second example is an online one, just to give you a bit of variety. It comes from the States. It was a very impressive tool which looked at the future in very interesting ways. But the key feature of this campaign was that it populated the tool with the members' data in a way that required a lot of really heavy lifting, very clever heavy lifting behind the scenes to manipulate that data appropriately, and so that the member could very quickly look at a range of different features that directly related to their own experience. The third example, again, comes from the States. It was a campaign run by Vanguard, where they brought together 600 of their clients in order to give each of those firms the benefits of personalisation in a way that no one of those firms could possibly have afforded on their own. Huge amount of heavy lifting involved in this campaign. It took, for example, 6 months to clean the data before a sort of shaky finger pressed the start button for the campaign. So scale is a key point in all of this. In order, it's a kind of irony, I guess, in order to be able to communicate effectively to one person, you must communicate to large numbers of people at the same time. Scale is required in order to do proper segmentation. Scale is required in order to do multi-channel in a proper way. So scale is really my final point that I wanted to leave with you. In the US and Australia, there's no doubt that the communications professionals in the pensions arena are saying that a campaign that is relating to less than 50,000 members is really subscale. And it's undoubtedly the case that in most campaigns that we're aware of in this country, we're talking to significantly less than 50,000 members. Virtually all of them are subscale, if you like. So we need to think about the way we structure ourselves, and we need to think imaginatively about how we can collect together and do collective campaigns, if you like, collective communications, in order to make best use of latest communications technologies or techniques that I've been describing to you: segmentation, multi-channel, personalisation. So there you have it. I wanted to leave you perhaps with 2 words to summarise what was ultimately 400 pages of findings. I've been able to summarise those in 4 minutes, and now ultimately I can summarise it perhaps in 2 words. Personalisation is the key to this, in our view, and that is the future of communications in pensions. And in order to do that, we have to start thinking differently about scale and how we organise ourselves. So I hope those are useful thoughts for you, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to share them with you.